Splendor, but not too much else to follow up.
So nice. I didn't even know where Bloomby was, but I knew this. If Bloomby or Uther are not close here, if Splendor or Bloomby aren't there, Genji is dead. But like a hero, Bloomby came there with another helping hand. Genji gets away and they even get a little bit of poke damage on Malthael. That Dragonite was pretty cool, but it didn't get any of the forts. Walls, fountains, yes, but damage was very well mitigated by Expert there. Abathur still in a very forward position. Look at that. Veritably taunting his adversary, the Haka in lane.
Expert can't catch a break with this giant camp. This time the Bloomby has taken a lot of damage with the Cursed Bullet from Nick. Ancestral healing heals Bad Bunny back up so they can continue in the chase. ADRD with the clone on Rhaegar this time, going in for a bot bite. Extra heals, but no kills from that.
Yeah, no kills just yet. ADRD clone will just about die before it expires. It offers 1/4 of XP of a hero kill. It's still worth it to chase down an ultimate evolution. Don't risk too much for it though. Team Liquid ahead in XP. They're very close to 16. The next shrines are coming. A fight breaks out. There should be nothing to save Bloomby this time around.
No, especially since that Death Shroud connected. Ethereal Angel could Wraith Strike in, killing Stitches. Splendor is being attacked too, taken down. And this is letting Expert catch back up. Crucially inexperienced Team Liquid because we've got shrines activating in just a few seconds.
The perfect timing here by Team Experts, finding the kills right as they are up against it, being down in that level. They get the double kill. They're now starting to paint the map blue. It is not enough for them to get bottom bruiser. They're stealing this one as well. This was supposed to be a safe haven for Team Liquid.
Expert is bringing the battle to Team Liquid after dealing with constant invades in their mercenary camps. They'll get some of their own, and that relieves that top lane. ADRD goes to the top shrine. Immediately, they get the bottom as well. They've got mercenary camps in both of the lanes, and that's a free Dragonite setup for Ethereal Angel to get it.
Rhaegar will jump into the fray, grabs Hunger of the Wall, 5% lifesteal on that Rhaegar, ready to chunk down Stitches together with that Cursed Bullet. Stitches gonna have to be very careful. Stitches himself completed the slam build, grabs Pulverize, will do massive damage and slow. That's gonna be very important to peel for himself as well as for his allies. But even as Team Expert grabs the lead here, Lunara gets closer and closer to crazy levels as well. She grabbed level 16, choking Poland, massive burst, and she gets closer and closer to high levels. Lunara, one of the best scaling heroes into the late game. Poison grabs 4.5% extra power per level. 4% is every other hero's power level, so she's a really good late game hero. Look at that damage on Bad Bunny there.
Yeah, between the Pulverize, but especially the Putrid Vial, and then the Thornwood Vines that you have to apply poison, there's a lot of different ways that you're able to get poison onto people, and importantly, the slows. Because with Unfair Advantage now, Nature's Toxin is doing 50% more damage to heroes whenever they are slowed. And being able to bring down a lot of health bars is what starts to set up and enable Genji to go in, get his resets, and then cleanly take out several heroes at once.
The Haka turns on adaptation instantly. Nurok knows he is in trouble. He's gonna get that heal. Full popping heal on adaptation. The turnaround is possible, but that is still a nice game for Expert. Liquid does not want to waste this opportunity. They jump in. Nurok goes in with the Haka. Can he find his mark?
He's still slowing people down, but Stitches has simultaneously been slowed down by Ethereal and the clone by ADRD. They take out Bloomby while the rest of Expert turns back around on Team Liquid. What a beautiful setup from Team Expert.
Liquid made a confidence call. They chased with the Haka, but Stitches got caught in the rotation. No one can escape death. Ethereal Angel jumps in there with Malthael. 4 heroes down. Dragonblade is still available, but can one ninja stop the onslaught here of Team Expert? They're pushing in. They're getting a keep, and they are looking at that core. And I don't think there's anything Darkmaw can do, no matter how skilled he is, to stop this. Expert 1-0. They're looking at the 2-0. They go for the core. They should be getting level 20 in just a second.
Expert is always so confident every single time they win that decisive of a team fight, and they should be. They are looking so good in this instant. Ancestral healing keeps Ethereal Angel alive. Darkmont getting low, has to step back, and that's just enough for Expert to take out the core once again, going up 2-0 over Team Liquid.
If I hadn't seen Expert versus Fnatic, I would be scratching myself on the head right now and asking who can stop the insane movement, the rotations, the level of discipline and understanding in every moment. Who can stop Team Expert? Team Expert fell 0-3 to Fnatic, but they looked good, especially in game 1 when they did so. And now against Team Liquid, they look indomitable.
This is Expert's first LAN event together as a team, but it is their first as a team since Gamescom. A lot of questions were raised about how are they going to perform on LAN, and it feels like, you know, there's some teams that come into a LAN environment with the crowd, with all the hype, and they struggle with that. But then there are teams that come in and just excel, hearing the crowd roar when they make a play, and it seems like we know which one Expert is.
Yeah, I think they're loving the attention here of the adoring crowd. Expert is livening up here in front of this attention, and we are just going to be heading to a short break before we go on. But after that, we're going to have Expert continue their match against Team Liquid and see who can take it all home and challenge Fnatic in the grand finals.
HGC Cheer. To bring more hype to HGC this year, you can cheer with bits to show support for your favorite teams while unlocking in-game loot and exclusive Twitch emotes. Cheering is a way to show support for streamers, celebrate the amazing, and amplify your voice in chat. Bits are a virtual good you can buy on Twitch to cheer. When you cheer for your favorite teams during HGC, a share of the revenue from the bits cheered goes to the team. As you cheer, items like loot chests, mounts, and exclusive emotes will unlock when cheering goals are reached. Check the HGC Cheer event page to track progress and see the loot you can unlock. The leaderboards will show who's the biggest fan of your favorite team. To get started, buy some bits by clicking on the Nexus icon at the bottom of chat and select Get Bits. Then, when a team impresses you with skills like these, click on the Nexus icon in chat, select the team logo, add the number of bits you want to use, and a message to cheer them on. You'll summon a team-themed animated cheer mode to celebrate the moment and amplify your voice in chat. The more bits you use, the cooler and more animated the cheer mode. Be sure to link your Blizzard and Twitch accounts to claim your loot when it becomes available. We'll see you in the Nexus.
The eternal conflict has shaped the destinies of mortal and immortal alike. But perhaps none more than Malthael, the former Archangel of Wisdom. With the primeval's defeat, humanity, being born of both angels and demons, became one of the last vestiges of demonic power. Using their souls as strength, Malthael became the aspect of death and vowed to eliminate demonic corruption wherever it took root, even within the Nexus. Malthael is a deadly melee assassin who shreds apart high-health foes by branding them with the Reaper's Mark. Each swing of Malthael's sickle applies Reaper's Mark to his enemy. Marked foes are automatically revealed and take damage over time. The damage is based on the target's maximum health, so the higher health they have, the more damage it deals. His Q ability, Soul Rip, only becomes available when Reaper's Mark is active on at least one target. When cast, Malthael drains the souls of nearby enemies, dealing damage and healing himself for a set amount. Ripping the soul of a hero also heals him by a percentage of his target's maximum health. Malthael's second ability, Wraith Strike, also can only be used when Reaper's Mark is active. In a flash, the Archangel of Death teleports through his enemy, dealing damage and refreshing his Reaper's Mark. Wraith Strike can be used from a distance as both a way to chase down enemies or as a clever form of escape. Malthael's final basic ability is Death Shroud. With a thrash of his wings, Malthael lets loose a wave of deathly energy that applies Reaper's Mark to any foe it contacts. Death Shroud moves slowly, so aim carefully or fire from a hidden location. Malthael's first heroic is Tormented Souls. When activated, Malthael gains a chunk of armor and emits a torrent of souls that continually apply Reaper's Mark to enemies near him, allowing him to make liberal use of his basic abilities. Looking for a way to assert yourself as the true aspect of death? Last Rites may be more your style. When cast, Last Rites acts as a death sentence, and after a couple of seconds deals a large amount of damage to an enemy. The total damage done is equal to half of the target's missing health and ignores armor entirely. Additionally, this is our first questing heroic in Heroes of the Storm. For every hero Malthael kills with Last Rites, its cooldown is permanently reduced until it reaches the minimum of 15 seconds. Malthael's Reaper's Mark is everything. Spread your mark to deal damage quickly. Your marks can be a mobility tool with clever use of Wraith Strike, or just a way to stay alive when comboed with Soul Rip. While drafting, consider the fact that Malthael excels against frontline bruisers and tanks like Thrall, Sonya, and Arthas. Make sure to watch out for high mobility heroes like Vala and Tracer that can poke from a distance and shut down your marks. At level 1, Malthael can choose between 3 mobility talents. Consider how you can min-max these options to fit your playstyle and your team composition. Once the Black Harvest quest talent at level 4 completes, it permanently increases how long your Reaper's marks last. Even just a couple more seconds opens up a lot of flexibility for Malthael to make some powerful plays. Lastly, Malthael can pick up the No One Can Stop Death talent at level 20. After being the victim of a takedown, activate this talent to instantly revive at the Hall of Storms. With Malthael's arrival, death itself has descended upon the Nexus, and this time, no one will stop him. Make sure to leave us a comment or subscribe to Heroes of the Storm on YouTube and around the web, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
Welcome back to the Western Clash. It is currently 2-0 in favor of Team Expert, and I'm joined by the boys at the desk here once again to break down exactly what went on there during that game. And overall, I think if Heroes of the Storm had achievements, ADRD would have just achieved one of them, which is be Abathur and replicate every single one of your heroes, your team's heroes, in a single game. That was mental.
He heard your request. I want to see double Malthael, and he delivered. And it was scary in that moment.
Absolutely. Who can stop death? Who can stop 2 times death?
Not
Nobody.
Stitches.
That's double death.
But that's just goes to show how situationally aware ADRD is. It's not necessarily that he cloned those heroes because they were the best clone hero. Yeah. He cloned those heroes because they were the best clone heroes in that moment.
Yes.
Like, for example, the Malthael clone, which we brought up as maybe not necessarily being the strongest clone, was brought up when Blumby was cut out of position in between the middle lane and the top lane. It's that sort of awareness that separates ADRD from other Abathur players.
And I think we do actually have the replays ready, Glaurung. So
yeah, absolutely. Those. Now, this replay is one of the more entertaining ones I think we've had. Darkmok actually ends up just making an incredible escape here. He D's over, and Bad Benny ends up missing both of his CCs, but what's really hilarious is Darkmok trusts Blumby, and the communication had to have been really on point, and it buys just enough time for him to just make this incredible escape. I think that really just showcased how much synergy Team Liquid has.
Yeah. What was your song you were singing during all of that? Dread was singing to us. It was beautiful.
This is a trap. That's what I was
saying. Don't deliver.
Don't do it, Dread.
No. You know, normally he's an absolute Care Bear and a happy guy, but he was trying to get you. Then
that was actually the most malicious
scary.
thing I've ever seen Trixler do. At this point, dude, I mean,
I'm sorry.
We need to have a conversation. Like, I know we cast it for the first time in a while, but I didn't realize it was like that big a beat.
I mean,
what was the film called?
My goodness.
That's what we call teamwork? That was in the song?
The actual, where the song is from?
Oh, no, it's a song by Tenacious D.
Yeah, it was a song by Tenacious D.
Yeah.
So it had something to do with teamwork.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It definitely was teamwork.
Yeah, and they displayed it greatly there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's check in with the maps. I've saved you there, Dread.
Thank you.
So we have the bands, and then going all the way down, it's going to be Battlefield of Eternity.
I love this map.
Yeah?
I always get so excited when we watch BOE. Just the intricacy of suddenly teams are forced to battle and fight in the center of the map. There's less like slow rotational play, and I always love watching teams brawl.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Battlefield Affinity going into this?
It's one of my favorite maps to watch because I like to see teams be decisive. It's probably one of my favorite things to enjoy about Heroes when a team is on a single idea and they all execute. And that's happened a lot in the last phase here for BOE. So expect that from Expert and Team Liquid.
Time for it, and Team Liquid is on its last legs now as we go into game number 3. Team Expert, 1 win away from getting their rematch against Fnatic and somehow muddling their way through that if they can get there, because that will be a dangerous one.
I don't know about you guys, but when I play Heroes of the Storm, I like to fight heroes and not minions as much. I know there's different preferences, but on BOE, you get to fight heroes a lot more. So we see Team Liquid respecting Expert's Genji. They opt in not to look the first pick it and ban it themselves.
I gotta say, I like fighting the minions more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What?
I love PvE. It's great.
Yeah, you feel like
you know,
I love Black Ops, Bay. It's well fun.
Skilled players would say that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
whoa, Glorog. I thought I was
Oh,
me.
dear.
This guy.
I know, he
See,
literally
no,
was
I
on the
took
same
the
roster.
spotlight.
Calm down.
Same
Poor
roster
Dread.
as me at some point. I'm still getting just thrown into the dirt. My goodness.
It does feel good to stomp on minions, though. It's like they just, you feel like a little god, you know? Like a
Yeah.
titan coming in there, eating
Yeah.
them up. It's pretty crazy.
Did you say a little god?
A literal god.
Oh, a literal
little god,
you know,
too.
I thought you were having a dig at Glowing there
it's
for a
not so
moment.
much the battle of the minions that I like. It's what that comes afterwards, like the making the actual hero fight decentralized. That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
things.
I can empathize with that, I suppose. Sometimes fighting the minions just gives you that little edge in the actual team fight.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
We see the
Ooh.
first pick on Oriole. This I love from Team Liquid. It's something they've shown extreme proficiency on in the past.
Force an Uther early, at least an Uther on the side of Expert, I feel.
Yeah, feels
Lunara
like it
could be too.
Uther would be a
Just
good
to
pick.
deny it from Team Liquid.
It's a good point. It's just any double support with any kind of form of like solid battery. Do you personally feel that the Lunara deny would be better? Because I mean, we still have things like the Vala up. So do you feel like that is worth the deny because she is that much better than even the Vala, who is also comparative on the race?
From Team Expert's perspective, I don't know if you necessarily have to commit to the Lunara, but I see the line of reasoning behind it. Team Liquid has just shown such proficiency on the double support with the Lunara in particular, and Team Expert's up 2-0 in this best of 5, so they have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to experimenting in this draft. So I don't necessarily think, as far as optimal draft goes, the Lunara on this rotation is perfect, but they could do it.
Circumstantially, it makes
Yeah.
a bit of sense there. Yeah. Either way, we got 8 seconds. We're gonna figure
but
it
they
out.
end up denying the Vala. Similar thought process, just Expert is more worried about Team Liquid's Vala Oriole rather than the Lunara Oriole. But the Brightwing is what interests me.
Yeah,
honestly.
over the Uther, because I mean we know that Brightwing and Ariel have been a very synergistic double support. Uther and Ariel, I mean, are also very synergistic support. So suddenly, I mean, when I see the Brightwing, obviously beyond just the global pressure that it can provide, which maps like BOE is not necessarily known to be focusing onto that global, I'm suddenly wondering, is this going to be like an all-in style composition out of Expert, or is this more of an it screams something.
Yeah.
It seems suspicious.
I call that the expert tingles. It's when they draft something that's a little bit different than you're not expecting. And I haven't had the tingles from them in a while.
It's Cho'Gall.
Does it feel good?
Oh, no.
Cho'Gall, you think so? It feels good. It's nervy. It's a little bit on the nerve-wracking side. You feel those nerves in the backside. But Team Expert definitely has a game plan. It's whether or not Team Liquid is able to sniff it out.
It was my Team Liquid that I thought was going to be Cho'Gall. But anyway, it really depends.
Could be.
It's a TAS Lunara, so we still get the double support, but it's not a main traditional double support. Only going to have the Tassadar there, but still the Lunara that Glowing was talking about. Liquid has been so impactful with that hero as overall, and so it's not surprising to see that come out here on BOE. When you do commit to a double support on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, though, traditionally you're going to be hyper-focused on being a bit more defensive, waiting for your opponent to make the misplay onto the Immortal. It does make you susceptible to hard split pushing, or even a very solid 1-3-1, which has been ran with a double global, get the pressure out, and then get the heavy collapse. I'm not saying Expert will, but it is an option now because of that.
I thought they would move into a potential warrior ban, but they're hovering the Malthael here. Malthael, we have seen the combo been played together. Poison everybody. Late game, they just have such a hard time out healing it.
Very interesting.
Good also with the Immortal DPS too.
First Malthael ban of the tournament.
We may have seen one more.
Maybe
I
one.
feel like I've seen one more, but I can't honestly recall. One thing that I didn't really bring up about the Brightwing, Team Expert is able to be put in a position when they already have secured one global where they can play a slightly more defensive Immortal play style while they get the side soak, and then Brightwing can phase shift in at any moment when they deem necessary if Liquid oversteps their bounds. But I honestly don't know what to expect from Bad Benny's perspective here. I don't know what warrior he's looking at.
He has multiple options. I mean, we've seen him on Stitches in the past. He can be a great Stitches player. Variant, one that we don't see as often.
I don't mind that ban at all, even though it seems
It
wild.
was a good ban.
I think it's just Stukov on this map can cause so many problems that I'm
Yeah.
not. Into a double support too. I keep talking about the way to take out a double support is make them stop casting. It makes a lot of sense to be able to remove that, but also the problem that it can provide for BOE. Much like on Cursed, he can make that long sustained fight around an objective be absolutely problematic.
Yeah, absolutely. When Team Liquid's already showing Oriel, Tassadar, Lunara, the heavy, sustained, long fight, Stukov just makes so much sense. And now I wonder if Expert, if they really were relying on that Stukov, there are a couple other options they could go into. I don't necessarily think it's particularly strong, but they could go into another support with heavy sustained like the Malfurion. Uther is also available, and we did see the Brightwing Uther combination earlier throughout the series, but that was into a Genji, right, where it had a lot of things where it could just address. I don't know where Expert's going with this draft. I'm really curious.
ATC and Brightwing is something that Expert has shown together on a map like Battlefield of Eternity in the past with pretty great recess. So now, exactly what I was talking about, though, with the 1-3-1 that Expert could have moved into due to the double support commitment is now an option. The high Brightwing, though I'm still feel like it's screaming something else that I'm not quite sure of now, is working out really well for them because the slow play style you alluded to, which traditionally double support provides. They want to be defensive. They don't overly dominate the race. They don't want that hard initiation. So keep Brightwing in one lane, Dahaka into another, ETC, Vola, insert whatever support's going to come next. They hang around, wait for Team Liquid to grass up. All of a sudden, they're getting an experience advantage and force the collapse.
And honestly, at any point when they're pushing waves into Team Liquid and Team Liquid is forced to catch those waves respectively, they're able to use their globals in just such an aggressive fashion. I really do think that once we see the Dahaka push in a minion wave, we're going to see him dig behind the Immortal, and that's when they're going to start to force in, sneak that damage with Vala, and potentially look for a kill with the drag. Okay, Arthas and Murden, I think...
That's an old school EU combo.
Yeah, it really is. You control that middle of the map there. You're able to have Muradin float around for ganks. Arthas is there just to make sure no one can get by, while Lunara works in the Immortal slowly but surely.
I mean, it's funny how far we've moved away, actually, especially in this tournament, from the race of Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah.
You get the Valor in there so often, but other than that,
I would argue
really don't prioritize it.
That really started at the mid-season brawl. Was a little bit played here and there, but the idea of racing to 10 seemed to be much more of an effective strategy than just trying to race down the Immortal. Dahaka became very popular on this battleground back at the MSB, and it's been a trend that has sticked around for the last few weeks.
It's definitely something we've seen a lot in North America throughout the past 8 months of HGC. The slower play style of Battlefield of Eternity started to like pick up heat, and I think it's sort of the overall meta now. I'd say in general, teams play BOE a lot slower.
I would say, I would accredit that to your team. Actually, when you guys busted out the Dahaka Zeratul double side soak and nobody could respond to you guys, suddenly all of NA was like, we need to play this slower, we need to play this more like Roll 20 for that side soak. And that's still something we're going to see here for Expert. But the Medivh coming out.
Makes a lot of sense here. Medivh Dahaka, very strong combination. I also think Medivh does have very good synergy with the ETC, but the burden of execution this game is heavily on Team Expert.
Yeah.
When it comes to overall team fighting and stuff like that, Team Liquid's comp is very forgiving, but Team Expert has the macro rotation advantage with their double global. They have the Medivh Dahaka synergy in team fights where they can slow it down with the ley line, dig in, and manipulate someone if they're out of position. I don't know. I don't know which draft I honestly favor. What do you think, Tim?
Man, I'm looking over. It's hard because I voted for Team Liquid the last 2 tries, and now I'm wondering if I just go all in and be okay with the 0-3.
Well, needful predictions, so I guess we'll start with you, Tim.
Let's do it, man. Team Liquid. I want more games.
I genuinely think they have the better draft as long as they just don't mess up the performance level and execution. I think they have a really nice draft here.
Yeah, for me personally, I see merit to both drafts, but this entire tournament, Expert's macro game has been so strong, I believe in ADRD's Medivh.
All right, well, thank you very much, gents. Time to head over for game number 3 now and find out if Expert can get the clean sweep or if Team Liquid can bring it back.
The last time Liquid and Expert faced off, it came down to the wire, game number 5, but in the end, Team Liquid was able to win, securing their place here at the Western Clash. But this time, Team Liquid is down 2 games, 1 more, and they are out of here.
Expert has grown a lot since then, and Team Liquid had been struggling a little bit in the past few weeks and months. But Team Liquid has shown up to be better today. They're improving during the course of this tournament. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They're down 0-2. They will look to make that comeback, and they have their closing arguments here to be made on Battlefield of Eternity as this game is picking up. Here on the left in the blue is going to be Team Expert with Nick, Bad Benny, Athero, ADRD, and Carson.
And potentially, for the last time in the red, Team Liquid with Nurok, Darkmok, Hasuabs, Splendor, and Blumby.
Well, that's an interesting role attribution here. Darkmok, the sometimes range, sometimes melee, is going to be on Lunara. We've got Hasuabs, the flex on Tassadar, and Nurok is going to be playing on Arthas. A very flexible team of lads there, Team Liquid.
Yeah, they had started this sort of change up in their roles earlier on, really at the end of this HGC Phase 2 because of wanting to put Nurok more into a shot calling role. So now we are seeing that a little bit more, and he's continuing that with playing Arthas.
We see the, I believe, second iteration of ADRD's Medivh. Team Expert, due to ADRD's headstrong attitude, were one of the first to adopt a widespread usage of Medivh. This is a hero that requires a lot of practice, and Expert was one of the front runners using this relatively, quote-unquote, new hero in Medivh. Portal and Force of Will usage is relatively unparalleled in the rest of the world, even as there are more and more teams trying to pick up Medivh, but Expert still the front runner of it. ADRD plays that so nicely, and his whole team is very well equipped to respond to his portals.
And his portals will come online the most once they can get to 13. Quickening reduces the cooldown of Portal by 50%. Pair that with the level 1 talent as well, which increases the uptime stable Portal by 50%, and you have almost 100% uptime of the Portal to give either an engage or a disengage.
Medivh is going to have an easy time. Whoa! There was some kind of massive explosion here. I think we're fine.
Seems fine.
I'm sorry.
It scared me too, but you were the one talking. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I always make a lot of sound when I get startled. Some kind of cry for help. I usually end up startling people when I get startled inadvertently. It's like, you're going down with me.
It's getting explosive in our lower bracket finals as Experts 1 game away from winning versus Liquid.
I'm excited. Adrenaline is running. They're a portal engaged there by Team Expert. They make a big move, but Liquid so far with the dodge, the turnaround, the poison on Nick. Vala dropping within a sliver of her life, but stays alive for now.
Yeah, this is that double support coming in handy for Team Liquid. The Ariel giving constant heals to them. And once we get level 4, either some armor or increased ability of life steal to leech off of their attacks. We'll see which is picked. Athero grabs Blumby with a drag. Into Burrow.
The fervent defense by Liquid trying to defend their Immortal. It is never going to be 100% effective. There's always poke damage, but they are looking for a pick-off. They're waiting for level 4. Keep in mind in Heroes of the Storm, there's trickle XP. Even doing nothing, killing nothing, you always get a small sliver of XP per second, and you can wait for that and try and get that talent here. They get that now, and now they're more ready to fight. However, is it too late? Did Expert find the opportunity to take down Darkmok, the portal, to cut off his escape? But this little Bambi smartly skipped away to the south.
She skipped away, and Splendor made sure of it. So no kill yet for Team Expert, even though they got dangerously close to taking out Darkmok. However, Team Expert, in their constant vigilance of poking down with the Monster Hunter, with the Hungering Arrow build of Vala, has forced the swap of the Immortal positions, and now they can continue their poke.
Now, the thing is, Team Liquid has far better sustain than Team Expert. Not only does Brightwing have 0 targeted heals, only that trickle of trait heal around her in an aura, Medivh also doesn't have any heals. He has Burst Protect, yes, but not heal. So any damage Liquid can do is going to be in their favor, but it's up to Expert to do the hard engage, try and secure a kill and have a quick fight, and that's what they keep trying.
That portal made it seem almost inevitable for Team Liquid to lose somebody there. But thankfully, Team Liquid stayed strong in the face of danger, grouped in on top of their Immortal, and there was no opening for Expert to be able to get that kill. So Expert now will take out the Immortal. They'll claim the first one, but it's a fairly lowly shielded one.
The truly incredible thing here by Team Expert, and I'm really excited to sing their praise as this newly emerging second seed team from Europe is just playing fantastic. They pressured Team Liquid, always nearly getting a kill, but they're doing so with just 4 members. The Haka was split soaking all the time. Look at this massive experience lead without even any takedowns. Expert is a full level ahead. They now get their level 7 talent. They're pushing in with 4 as the Haka continues to wrestle control of that top lane.
And
Let's
Grubby,
see what they can do.
You do not want to get that far behind on Battlefield of Eternity. There are very real threats to losing this game on this battleground in
very rapid
9
fashion.
minutes. Yeah, once you get heroic abilities with the second Immortal, things get very scary if you do not have heroic abilities to try to defend versus that. So that level lead needs to be rectified by Team Liquid.
Yeah, you know what they say, Battlefield of Eternity years are like dog years. You multiply them by 7. You really don't have that long to go on this map usually. And Liquid is already down a fort. A full fort against the first Immortal is a rare occurrence indeed, especially when you consider Liquid has a lot of D-push. They have a lot of ranged heroes. This is where Liquid really hits their stride. Level 7 was so needed. Ariel picks up Burst of Light, which gives her the flexibility to heal.
That is where they hit their stride. Look at the body blocks from Nurok and Blumby fighting Ethereal
can they get
Angel.
more? Gerson!
Low 2 with the poison.
Woo! Have some bananas. Team Liquid get the kill on the bane of their existence. Finally, that fort goes completely down. I had already written it off.
Experts doing all they can, despite losing Dahaka, to maintain their experience advantage by getting that fort, even the tower next to it. But by making sure that Dahaka was taken out and Brightwing got very low on health, Team Liquid's hoping that they can do the same. They worked on the towers, now they're getting a mercenary camp, can cycle down and get their bruisers too, but they are still a level behind Team Expert.
Yeah. Again, Lunara gets better and better as the game goes on. And that will help a lot. She gets that splintered spear. Massive bursts of energy for Ariel. Merlin has gone for the full Stormbolt build to help a little bit with that damage on the Immortal. Quadruple damage with Stormbolt on the Immortal. A nice little chunking of roughly about 800-900 damage on the Immortal will help with that trade. And now Liquid has to decide, do they continue to defend or is it a full-on trade this time? Level 10 is so close for Expert. And it is the trade. Team Liquid tries to do as much damage as they can. And they're leading the race for now. But Expert this time will get level 10. I don't think they will let it get to a trade, will they?
Liquid used the time where Expert did not have 10 and the fact that it was in a safer position for them to just massively group around it. They have Sledgehammer build. They bursted down as much as they could from the shielding.
And they're
now
going to
they
let
have
this
to
one
give
go.
this up.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have to, right? I mean, level 10 is there.
Absolutely. Their life is on the line in this tournament. There's no room for mistakes. There's no room to get caught without heroics.
So the Immortal gets spawned. It always goes to the most healthy structural lane. That means this time it will be the north. Not like some other maps where it literally alternates every other time. So Immortal goes to the north. It will pressure the top forward. And by that time, Team Liquid will be just about level 9.8. So they will need to buy a little bit of time. Poke as long as that gate is up. Sacrifice a little bit of the fort HP and then try to make their stand.
I'm getting so scared watching ADRD fly over these.
Portal
everybody.
plays.
They have to just get 10 first.
Leyline Seal, Mosh Pit, Rain of Vengeance. There's a lot of threat here. ADRD trying to complete his massive starts. 19 out of 30, not yet. No portals yet. Liquid gets level 10.
They have 10. Bad Benny was sweeping around from the side, seeing if he could flank with the Miracle Mosh that might just let them in the game right here. But doesn't find it. Force Wall keeps him in to range of the damage while the rest of the team deals with the Immortal.
Nurok has come here. Dahaka hasn't. Team Liquid needs this fight. They need to engage before the Immortal is down. They don't though. And because they don't, more and more damage at the bottom wall. The Haka is having so much fun there, getting almost half a tower down already. Expert just out-rotating, out-playing Team Liquid here. What is Team Liquid's counter answer? They need an engage in those moments, and I feel like they're missing their opportunity here.
Well, here's the engage being forced upon them, whether they wanted it right here or not. Avatar has been used after the drag. Leyline Seal hits the back line, but Team Liquid stays strong. They still have the heals. Blumby can continue in. ADRD zoned away from the portal.
29 stacks! 29 stacks on Master Stars. Does he go down? He completes! Quest complete. Time to feed. Nonetheless, Team Liquid get that kill. And they're looking for more.
Nurok sitting on top of Bad Benny, hoping for a second as he races to his gate to safety. Darkmok not willing to let this go, slowing him down. In the end, he gets out, but this whole time, again, Ethereal Angel constantly pushing the waves toward the base of Team Liquid. And Team Liquid, yes, they get 1 kill, but they are still behind.
Yeah, the Leyline Seal was cool. He hit 3 targets, but there was no real pressure on Muradin. Much of the damage had already been used, the lockdown as well, and Muradin popped his avatar. In fact, it was a nice little rally cry, that Leyline for Team Liquid, where they say, shall we go? Yes, good situation, and they chased. Lovely detainment strike on ADRD there, pushing him away from the portal, as going through a portal does have half a second of channel time, so that was nice. They get that kill. Nurok, Army of the Dead, Icebound Fortitude, the turnaround. This seems to be the play of the game for Team Liquid. They go get engaged upon and they make the counterattack. However, this time Expert gets away on time.
Yeah, Team Liquid is forcing every fight they can possibly make out of Team Expert because they continue to be behind. 1 kill isn't enough. They need to be able to get a bunch of kills to tie things up or get an opportunity to push down some of the structures and even out those structures and experience. Detainment strike into the force wall though.
That was very cool. The force wall actually made the power slide go in 3 different directions during the usage of that ability. That was so funny. Actually putting him closer to Team Liquid and making him a valid target. But Medivh was there with the portals and the force of will. Now Team Liquid is in a very difficult situation. They're still down a level. Ethereal Angel keeps annoying them in the off lane. And they have to defend their Immortal. And they will try to fight down an entire talent level here.
13 isn't the worst. It gives more sustainability to Vala. As we mentioned before, the portal uptime is a lot better. This will help out, especially if an unfavorable force wall comes in from Hasuabs. Even shield dust too.
Liquid has to respond to that off lane. Arthas chases the Dahaka.
Expert starting to move forward onto the Immortal.
Darkmok drops a little low, heals up from the Plasma. Nearly the stun by the boss on Nick. Vala, a lot of damage here on Muradin. Polymorph, that's a lot of abilities used on a warrior who still has his personal health bar, emergency health bar available, Avatar. Team Expert needs to be careful to use too many things on Muradin. Liquid very smartly makes use of that overcommitment on Muradin. They turn around and they get much of the damage on the Immortal.
Halfway to being able to get their own Immortal. Liquid will go back to the defensive stance. They have some minion waves that are starting to push toward their base that if they can soak up, they would get 13 and then feel a whole lot better about forcing a fight yet again.
Darkmok very far forward. The power slide on Darkmok.
Oh, the stun actually doesn't get to drop the mosh pit for now. 6 more seconds. It went on the 10-second cooldown, but the team is split.
Darkmok needs to get in a better position. He cannot get the group heals. There we go. Leyline Seal on all 5.
Bad Benny goes down once again. He was cleansed, but nobody in the mosh pit, and Team Liquid strike.
Yeah, the counterattack once again by Team Liquid. They're in hot pursuit. They don't even care about the talent lead. Blumby jumps in. Immediate portals out. Stormbolt on Bad Benny. Bad Benny goes down. Team Liquid get their kill. They get their pound of flesh, and they are doing exactly what they want to with this composition. So much control there with Tassadar and Ariel, and even as Darkmok dropped to within an inch of his life, lethal was not confirmed. And Bad Benny did the solo mosh pit, and Team Liquid laughed it off. They get their first Immortal, 65% health bar. Team Liquid is getting back into this game.
This is the moment where finally Team Liquid can catch up to Team Expert after getting behind in experience. The scary before 10 level lead that Expert were able to acquire can now be dealt with, and Team Liquid can even look to pull ahead. They don't have Dahaka up in the top. They're choosing to keep their 5-man team fight composition together as a unit. Dahaka can always come down if he is needed to help Expert.
Let's see if he does. For now, the shield is still there, which means the Immortal's attack is ranged. It's going to take down this fort double fast. Moshpit is still 40 seconds away. The force will is huge. Stormbolt comes out on ETC. The body block by Arthas, but the portal will happen for Bad Bunny. He goes away, but he's hurt.
Darkmark was hanging around the other side of that portal, making sure that he could put in the poison damage to everybody. And Force Wall sits on top of the portal, but ADRD can still escape. The fort down. Dahaka continuing to siege toward the top of Team Liquid's base, but Team Liquid is not done yet.
Stormbolt misses. Nice engage by Bloomby. Nice attempt anyway. Going on the keep. There goes the power slide. Moshpit not available yet. I don't think Team Liquid could have known that. Leyline Seal. Leyline Seal. Emerald Wind. How did he get pushed back by the boss?
Yes, watch Bad Benny though, because he does have Moshpit if he can find the grouping.
Oh!
The root from Arthas is going through the portal though.
The drag tongue misses. The Ariel sustain is crazy. This fort, this keep is down to 1 HP. The Thornwood Vine will confirm the kill. Team Liquid is allowed to go home. Job well done, lads. Dahaka pushed a little bit of the paint off that top keep, but Team Liquid currently is ahead on the map. Now they just need to make sure they stay ahead in hero numbers. This was a very close and harrowing expedition for Liquid. They climbed Mount Everest and they're ready to start preparing for their next climb. Still a level and a talent down, but it's looking pretty good for Team Liquid.
That situation goes to show how scary it is to siege versus a Medivh when you don't have a fort to retreat to. They were so far up, and having a portal possibility show up behind you with a mosh pit too, Team Liquid, to be able to get through that, not lose anybody, played that so excellently. Now they need to get 16 again. They get some camp pressure. Expert hoping that they could use that 16 briefly to get some staggered deaths going for Team Liquid, but it won't be had.
Yeah, it won't be hard. Team Liquid scouted that out too nicely. Here's the Oracle, before there was the Muradin and the Lunara Wisp, one of the best abilities in the game at continually scouting for ganks like that without threatening your own position. Here is that Fallen Bruiser camp. Finally, Aethero makes it over. He will prevent much of the damage, but this is info to Team Liquid. They can move forward more confidently and start to stake their claim on this map. They go forward, they want to push one more wave to get the information that they require. Dahaka's presence in the top gives them confidence, gives them position, and it will end up giving them more information.
Team Liquid.
Are they going too far though? Oh, they want to deal with this Bruiser ASAP.
Yeah, they want to keep this lane pushed in their advantage.
That's very smart. That's very well done. Dahaka wasn't here yet.
Army
he engaged though. This is doubtful. Now, if Team Liquid wins this fight, they can end the game. The core is open.
Benning isn't going in with the power slide too on the backline while Nurek is keeping everyone out. Kurson has to use Emerald Wind just to push Nurok back.
The double support is working really well for Team Liquid here. They're going in. Nick! Voila! Voila! The poison! Lethal!
Vala's down. Team Liquid take out one and the keep in one stroke. Detainment strike into the force ball claims the life of another. ADR portaling back to his core, but Team Liquid can feel it. The crowd is rumbling. They want to win a game. They want to take us to game 4.
The force wall detainment strike combinations are sublime by Team Liquid here. They feel like they might want to go for the core, but the dissuasion has been made. Team Expert said, how about you don't? And Team Liquid is like, yeah, all right, let's not. Let's go back onto the map. Let's start working away at this Immortal. We have another 10 to 20 seconds until all members are back for Team Expert. And the way that this is going to go is Team Liquid bring that one to 50%. The halftime show will start. Expert gets all their heroes back, and we're right back to that war around the middle.
Yeah, with a double support, double warrior, you don't have something like an Illidan, an amazing core killer. The Immortal phase was up, and it allowed Team Liquid to rotate back and get the halfway point for free. And taking out a keep now makes Team Expert possibly not be able to use their globals as much to their advantage as they would ideally like, because Team Liquid were able to get the first keep and get some catapult pressure going. Yeah. So Team Liquid are willing to be okay with being patient, even despite being down 2 games, and that is incredibly admirable.
Yeah, very good point, and I think Team Liquid made all the right calls. The core attempt was fine, they disengage even more so. They don't get too committed to that choice. Drag Tongue on Muradin, he still has Avatar, Polymorph. Avatar goes up on time, but oh, the isolation! Wow, nice kill there on Muradin. Avatar was not enough. Every support was isolated away, and that is putting on the clinic. Drag Ariel! No Aegis!
Two-man
Mosh pit! Expert! What? Everybody died on Team Liquid. This was supposed to be their moment. They were ahead in every way, ahead in level, ahead in keeps, ahead on immortal HP, but Team Expert shows their class. They show their growth. And they kill everyone. Mosh pit, leyline seal, isolation on Muradin, everything was perfect. I am in shock, Gilly. I'm in absolute shock.
They not only killed everyone, they are now going for the core. Only Blumby's here, 7 seconds until Ariel's here to help. They've got portals to go back and forth over the core. Team Expert bringing it down. It is at 60% and continuing to fall as they put the damage in. Team Expert with Emerald Wind, with all the damage, takes out Team Liquid 3-0 and will move on to the grand finals to face Fnatic.
Wow.
It almost feels like Expert sensed the hesitation. Liquid went to the core, not being able to get more kills, moved back. We're willing to play patient. And Expert were like, if you give us this chance, we're going to take it.
Exactly. Team Liquid, they tried to go for the core. I think it was the right call. They did not manage to do it just like that. Expert just a little bit too strong today. And Expert, after engage, finally find that opportunity to punish Team Liquid. Wonderful play there. Team Liquid played a great tournament.
They did. They made it to the top 3. That was their goal. They were able to overcome every North American team who tried to take a series from them. Another goal of theirs. But in the end, it was projected that it would be Fnatic and Team Expert in the finals, and I am so thrilled that we get that rematch because I guarantee Expert is ready to rectify the winners finals that we had earlier today.
Yeah, they are ready to fight Fnatic once again. They had a rough going at the first time, but now they're warmed up. They have that momentum. They have those victories there. And they are ready to undertake one more undertaking against Fnatic in that grand finals. Let's break this match down there, guys.
Thank you very much, Grubby and Gilly, of course. It's 3-0 for Team Expert, of course, there. And a lot of fans at the very end mobbing Team Liquid in consolidation. I was wondering as to what was going on there for a moment. But obviously, you know, as I say, a lot of Team Liquid fans out there rooting for the boys, but unfortunately they couldn't deliver.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they want to talk to their fans. They love to. They're a respectable team. They came out here and had a very solid tournament. They're still top 3. But man, Expert, holy moly. A comeback was on the way for Team Liquid. We can feel it in the air. And they said, all right, well, let's respawn. They run straight to the middle of the map. And that control of CC on that fight in the middle of the map there was fantastic. Do you have an actual replay on that one?
Yeah, actually. And the interesting thing about the 2 replays I've chosen, in one match, as we get into this, let's start by pausing. Team Expert here, the burden of execution to win this game is heavily on them from my perspective, and Team Liquid does a really good job of staying with their hyper-sustain composition alive. So as we start to go through this clip here, we see that the synergy is just slightly off and the execution isn't perfect from Expert in this particular team fight, and Team Liquid demonstrates what happens in a fight if the execution is not perfect. You see the front line of Nurok and Blumby. There's the overlap of Leyline from Curson as well. And it's just like this situation where everything seemed to be good, but then little things happen, like the Leyline overlap of the Emerald Wind, and then the Mosh Pit completely missing. It's situations like this that make these compositions risky to run. Yeah. But Expert in the same game is able to recover from this play where the execution wasn't necessarily perfect and turn it around and just like style on Team Liquid in this next play. As we watch ADRD here set up this play, he's providing vision, and this enables Athero to punish Blumby once his jump is down. And the thing I really want to pay attention to is ADRD's awareness and the isolation from Athero. The Leyline Seal sets up the secure on the one pick, but at the same time, off of Portal's next cooldown, they're able to set up Bad Benny's next slide into Mosh. And this play in particular, Athero's tongue is incredible, but it's just like night and day how different the execution was, and I think that speaks volumes of Team Expert as a team, that they're willing to make these adaptations mid-game, not even mid-series or mid-tournament. The fact that earlier in the game, they struggled with execution, they take a step back, take a deep breath, and then next opportunity, execute flawlessly.
I love that, you know, ADRD is truly the prophet when it comes to playing a Medivh there, knowing that the wall is going to go down, so he is putting the portal down at exactly the same time, wanting to get his team across. Very good control.
And I can't overstate how solid of a performance Athero had on the Dahaka that game. From the early game, developing the map pressure, to the unbelievable drags on Oriole and Blumby, and at the same time, too, when the leyline came out and the isolation did end up happening, it was just so good because he isolations the Murden so he can't get the Thunderclap off to regain enough health for the Oriole to hit the Aegis. Just flawless execution in that last team fight.
Very good stuff by Team Expert, and now that means they move themselves on into the grand final, where they previously got smashed by Fnatic. What can they do in this grand final to try and turn things around and claim themselves a championship?
I mean, obviously confidence doesn't matter, but like, just for a second there, they did get dominated by Fnatic, but Expert just destroyed in this last matchup and a majority of the series for the rest of this weekend. It's actually that crazy to think that there is a level where Expert might be above a lot of the teams here, but Fnatic is that much higher. Knowing that the last 6 matches that Expert has had against Fnatic has gone 0-6, you got to just kind of erase that memory, go in, and have the confidence you had in this series against them.
I think ADRD and the boys on Team Expert Dread are going to have to go back, just take a step back a moment here and do a lot of soul searching, maybe tap into that mind of ADRD, try and think of some, as much as they talk about to us about, you know, just being consistent and stable now, there might have to just be something radical and wild to try and beat Fnatic.
If they don't draft radically and their strategic approach isn't as radical, the biggest thing I want from them is to not be afraid. Okay. I would rather them just go in with like an absurdly aggressive composition, and every time it looks like even close to a fight, taking it. Like I was with their first series, the biggest thing that allowed Fnatic to do what they did was because they were afraid to just go, guys, this isn't working. We have to take a fight at some point. And it was just letting Fnatic keep whittling away at their HP, and eventually the core is going to fall. So regather yourself when things get bad, take the same talent to your fight, and do not question yourself. All in, and it will be at least a better outcome than what we experienced in the first series.
The biggest thing for me going into these grand finals, I think Expert needs to control the pace of the game when it comes to Fnatic. We saw in the previous set winners finals, when Fnatic was in control, it was not even close. But game 1, Expert was in control of the macro game, in control of all of the rotations, and that, like, Fnatic had to have been shaking in their boots. I'd like to see the Expert we saw versus Liquid and the Expert we saw in game 1 of the winners finals, and I think they would have a shot at the grand finals.
Well, the countdown, ladies and gentlemen, has now begun for our grand finals here for the Western Clash. It will be Team Expert going up against Team Fnatic, our current reigning world champions, to determine who will become the new Western Clash champion. We're going to go to a short break, but when we're back, don't go anywhere. It is a best of 7 with a 1-map advantage to Fnatic as they go up against Team Expert.
Introducing HGC Cheer. To bring more hype to HGC this year, you can cheer with bits to show support for your favorite teams while unlocking in-game loot and exclusive Twitch emotes. Cheering is a way to show support for streamers, celebrate the amazing, and amplify your voice in chat. Bits are a virtual good you can buy on Twitch to cheer. When you cheer for your favorite teams during HGC, a share of the revenue from the bits cheered goes to the team. As you cheer, items like loot chests, mounts, and exclusive emotes will unlock when cheering goals are reached. Check the HGC Cheer event page to track progress and see the loot you can unlock. The leaderboards will show who's the biggest fan of your favorite team. To get started, buy some bits by clicking on the Nexus icon at the bottom of chat and select Get Bits. Then, when a team impresses you with skills like these, click on the Nexus icon in chat, select the team logo, add the number of bits you want to use, and a message to cheer them on. You'll summon a team-themed animated cheer mode to celebrate the moment and amplify your voice in chat. The more bits you use, the cooler and more animated the cheer mode. Be sure to link your Blizzard and Twitch accounts to claim your loot when it becomes available. We'll see you in the Nexus.
The cocoon is used! They did it! Takes down one! The score continues to drop, and that's gonna be it. New record here, 6 minutes and 1 second.
We feel like we're always like the best team, but when we actually come to a tournament, we fail.
Easy game, boys! Let's go!
I'm really excited to come back to Jönköping and show on stage that we've improved and we can do it this time.
Dignitas has done it! Boys, let's go!
Over the last 6 months, all of these teams have been vying and competing to call themselves a world champion. We have 8 teams remaining, and we're about to find out which of those over the next 3 days is going to take that title.
I'm friends with Dig and I'm friends with Fnatic, but it's a better storyline if Fnatic wins in their hometown.
When it actually matters, they always seem to beat us. But, I mean, we're just gonna make sure that doesn't happen. I'm not letting Bakery lift the trophy on my home turf.
Everyone's always really good friends and everyone gets along. I've never had a bad experience with any player from another region. So, yeah, except Wubby. He's mean.
I think it's like the first time that we are like really confident into a tournament, especially a global, because we know that Koreans are like weaker than normal. When there is a big crowd, it's better for experienced players. If you cannot handle the pressure, it's gonna be really hard.
The final series for the playoffs of the day as we have MVP Black going up against Team Dignitas.
Oh, do we do a boss? Kiss also falling! MVP Black will fall to Team Dignitas! Let's go!
I told you we'd win. Hey, Dub, you scared, Dub?
Wait, is he win first?
Oh, of course! Oh, free final?
Free final, wow.
We take tips from my Genji. I just press R and E into Grey Main and we win the fight.
And we got
Hopefully
to
they
final
draft
now.
like that against us.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be nice. Holy shit, Brightwing, dude.
Good shit though, Snitch. I can't do a high five. I need. Do it.
일단 그리운 거는 딱히 없고 그냥 저희는 해외 대회 나오면은 최대한 즐기고 있기 때문에 그건 괜찮은 것 같고 그냥 음식만 많이 그리운 것 같아요.
All right, we're getting into it then. Game number 1, L5 going up against MVP Black.
They're pushing him back, they cocoon him, they drop in, they jump in, they know it's over, it's game, it's GG, L5 makes it happen.
That was crazy. That was absolutely insane.
Good job, dude.
I think for us it would be a huge advantage to have like the home crowd cheering for us, but for Fnatic it seems like a disadvantage. They've tended to choke in the past, and with all of this pressure from the home crowd especially, I think it could be the same thing again.
It's really nice to have my family here.
I play better when my family is on the crowd.
Jag brukar ju titta I paddan annars. Det är härligt att få åka hit och vara här och se sitt barnbarn spela.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 1. This is our winners bracket final. Europe goes up against Europe. Team Dignitas goes up against Fnatic.
The core's falling. It's going down to 20. It's getting further.
20% and falling quickly. Everyone respawning for Dignitas, but it's not in time. Fnatic take out the core and win game 1. Spexia's fall. There's only 2 members left of Fnatic to try to stop the onslaught of damage on their core, but Team Dignitas is burning it down.
The Void Prison here, 16% is the core here. Wubby's getting low on health. They're putting all the damage. They are focusing it. They're going for the call. 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%. It's gonna be saved!
He's got one more Void Prison to stall this out.
He goes in forward. Panak's going to use Breeze here on the top right corner. Storm with the fire. They should have the game. They're doing it. They're killing the core.
Dream team sitting on top of the league. Supporting the grand vision I see. Spotlights on me. Riding lyrically. Cause I smoke that butterfly. Sting up the beat. Smile when I speak. As I ride in the beat. First black prime minister. Deliver this speech. And one day will be what I'm free. A true poet like me is simply what the world needs to see. Someone that's sincere. The gracious stare.
Yes! Och jag tänkte verkligen, när det kom till 1%, jävlar, here we go again.
Game number 1 for our lower bracket final between Dignitas and L5.
And I think this is it.
10% and falling is the core of L5. It is it. Team Dignitas takes game 1. L5 in 14 minutes dismantle Team Dignitas in game number 3 on Towers of Doom.
Let's go.
Team Dignitas eliminates L5 and moves on to the grand finals.
It always feels really bad to lose the finals, but like this time, I'm really confident. We go in with a 1-0, and we've been looking stronger than the other teams, so this time I hope we'll win.
The grand final, Fnatic against Team Dignitas. The winner of this series becomes world champion.
To fall, Dignitas looking for another victory in this series. The hunt into the dive. Zilia going straight for the core. Mane showing off fireworks. The core.
Fnatic is in trouble in this grand final at the mid-season brawl.
We have 1 more game remaining.
Once again, Quapnic's moving away, but at the same time, Respite is in even more trouble. The Gust hits in. They go into the back line. Is it the kill? It is!